we need to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 prices. I think there's a lot of information going around right now, some very true, some very not true, some very bad, some actually makes a lot of sense to me. I think we need to talk about it. One, because I'm probably gonna pre-order it, and if I get the Mario Kart bundle, I'll be playing it on you know, here and talking with you guys about it and showing it off. Plus a ton of Nintendo Switch 2 games when they come out. But also, I think people are justified in this, and I also think that there's some stuff that's gotten out there that I don't like how quickly people attached to. So let's jump in and talk about it. Let's just do it. I'm gonna play a trailer or something in the background, so because I don't have anything written down or planned out for this. 80 is a tough one. That is a large amount of money to spend on a video game. I agree. I think we had this problem, and this is because I'm old. The Super Nintendo had tiers too. There were games that would come out at like 30, 40. Then there'd be games that were 50, 60, around there. And then there were some RPGs I remember being like 80. And that was a lot. Back then, that would have been like $144. But also now, it still feels like that because we haven't had our wages increased. like the general, just wages for everybody to keep up with inflation have not gone up. And yes, there will be a little bit of talks of tariffs and stuff like that because unfortunately, that has a role, little bit, a tiny bit in this, I think. And the only reason I think that is because in Japan, it's way cheaper. And that has to play into it. And I think the reason it's not in the UK or in Canada is because they need those markets, because I think they still view that as a Western market. All of those. And I think there needs to be some sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Price similarity in those markets. I think that's why, like, we don't talk about it a lot, but Brazil's been paying insane prices for video games forever. Same with Australia. Australia's weird, though, because I think sometimes their games are cheaper, and then sometimes they're way more expensive. So if you're in another part of the world, and that's sort of you have a fluctuating sort of thing like that, let me know. I'm interested. But, yeah. Tariffs are making a big deal, and they're hitting every parts of our lives. Like, if I don't know how many people here also, you know, have a house and a family and have to go to the grocery store and those sort of things. But when you're paying that much for eggs and milk, it's insane. And that all adds into it. So if just that is expensive, I thought maybe the Switch would be more. I was hoping it would be somewhere between $400 and $500. And the fact that it's $450, I think that console's at a great price point. I really do. If anybody's mad about the console, I get it. It is more expensive than the Switch, one. But it also makes a lot of sense. And I think, like, you know, if we're talking and comparing it to, like, the ROG Ally, the Steam Deck, all those sort of things. And you can say what you want about them. Like, yes, I get one is a Windows-based product, and I get that the other one is running a Steam OS, where you can play your whole PC ecosystem. And there's a lot of discounts on games on there. So I get that, too. And I'm not, you know, sort of trying to be like, you know, everything Nintendo is doing is golden. It's not. I don't like the 80 price tag for Mario Kart. We'll get into that in a second, but I think the console itself is totally fair. I think that bundle is what, if you're going to pre-order it like me, try to get the bundle. That makes Mario Kart $50, and you get the whole console. That makes it a lot easier. But I guess the real thought of this is that I knew 70 was going to be the new norm. I was hoping it wouldn't be for Nintendo quite yet. I was hoping they'd wait for another generation to pass and maybe have some select titles at 70. Keep most things at 60. That was my hope. But no, they're going straight into the 70 price. And that is what I expect. I said it before, but like Super Nintendo, N64, those sort of situations, like I was kind of like, we've had $60 be pretty much the standard for a while, and 70 made some sense. I was ready to accept that if it happened. PlayStation 4's or 5 is already doing just straight 70 as their baseline. That makes a lot of sense. 80 does feel tough. I will tell you this, honestly, when I saw that price, there was a minute where I went, what? And I kept checking to see. I've also seen a ton of people say 90 for a physical. I've seen that nowhere. The only place I could find 90 as a price was in Spain, and they have a totally different pricing thing. So anybody who's telling you it's $90 for a physical game, they're just fucking lying. Yeah, like they just are. It's not true. 80 is what looks like Mario Kart's gonna be at. That is tough. Like I said, I totally understand it. I have a family and a mortgage, and I have to buy food and diapers. Like, I get it. That is a lot for a game. So I am totally with you on that. Think if you can get it in the bundle, buy it. If you can't, then maybe sit it out. See if all this negativity that Nintendo's getting for this price for this game does anything. Maybe. I don't know. I guess the reason it's tough for me is because I also really can see and understand why people would be like, hey, listen, we worked on this game and want to be paid fairly for it. So I do wonder that a little bit. How long has Mario Kart World been in development for? How much do these people need to get paid? I'm all for that, but I also, man, yeah, that 80 is a tough one to swallow. It is. It's a hard pill. I get it. I'm with you in it because I also have to buy these games, and I'm not like a big YouTuber, so I'm not getting this stuff for free. I'm not getting invites anywhere. No one's coming up to me and being like, Bob, you want to play this game? Nah, I'm going to, I have to, I'm probably going to have to download it, because I've been going all digital for a while now. So, the game cart thing isn't that big of a deal to me anymore. I totally understand it, but I really, with all the patches and everything else that come out for games now, how much of that do you really actually have on the cart anymore? We saw it a lot with the Switch anyway. How much of the game's actually there, So, I mean, I'm not so worried about physical stuff anymore. But don't worry, none of your physical games are going to be $90 unless we see something else. Don't worry about that. That's not a real thing. It's just so weird that this price thing came up at all, because that Direct should have been a slam dunk. Everything they showed is gorgeous. The way all these games are getting 4K upgrades, especially if you have NSO already. Like, you need NSO to play online. So, yeah, you're gonna get Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild upgrades for free. Odyssey, Scarlet and Violet, some of these other games are just gonna get them also. Not like a lot of stuff, but a lot of stuff with like resolution. I think some frame rate and just overall performance is gonna be better on some of these. So not like full stuff like this. And then the other games upgraded also are coming with DLC. So a lot of these paid ones are coming with extra stuff. Kirby and Forgotten Land's getting new stuff. I'm actually not mad about any of that, surprisingly. I've seen a lot of people mad about it. I think a lot of people also on the internet want to be mad about stuff. It's the internet. We've been here for a while, guys. Like, I get it. But 80's tough, man. And so I'm sticking with that idea. I think if you want it and you think it's worth your time and the money, do it. Like, I would pay $80 for Isaac, The Binding of Isaac. I've gotten so much time out of that game. I've played it for thousands of hours. Same with Splatoon 2. I had 4,000 something hours when I stopped playing that game. And yeah, that was worth it. I've gone to movies and paid like $40, $60 and was like, that movie sucked and I'll never get that 2 hours of my life back, so thank you for those good games that I would actually pay that for. But there's also, like, I don't know how much, like, if I don't get Mario Kart in the bundle, I don't know how much I'd actually play Mario Kart. Like, I love Mario Kart. It's great. I played the hell out of it on the 64, and Double Dash is still one of my favorite racing games. Besides F-Zero, GX is just great. But, yeah. But World looks fantastic, too. That's another thing that's hard about this, because all the games look great. Donkey Kong Country, I'm actually not even mad about 70. I think almost if they would have come out and said Mario Kart was 70, I don't think we'd be hearing nearly as much backlash. I think people would be like, oh man, that's a bummer that it's a little bit more expensive, but I think the 80 just really had some shock to people, which is justifiable. I think also if you think that's unreasonable, yeah, tell them. Also haven't played it yet. I don't know how big it is. I don't know what it's offering. What if this converts me into playing a ton of Mario Kart? I have no idea yet. That's tough too. But I also think that you should do what you think's right. If you don't like that price, then tell them. And if you think that's a fair price, then cool, go get it. It's just rough. It's rough. And these tariffs that have come through, and now apparently as of today, which or maybe it was yesterday, I think it was today, I looked through, I was like, Jesus Christ, they just put them on everybody. So us here in the US, we're gonna not only be paying more for this kind of stuff, but also just everything. You think it's rough now, it's probably gonna get a lot worse. So that's also tough to hear. When you see the state of the world, and then you see one of your favorite things that you love to do also getting more expensive than you were maybe anticipating, that's hard too. But, yeah, I don't know. It's such a weird place, because I have a lot of different feelings on it. I do. I think developers and people who work in these games should be paid fairly, and should be reflected in that, so that they get paid what they deserve for the art and the hard work that they've done. I do believe that. Those people who were cheaped out on Metroid Dread, you made a beautiful game, and if you weren't involved in that, shame on you, Mercury, for not including those people in the credits, not paying them fairly, because they made a wonderful game. They deserved every cent. Yeah. I think that's the hard part about it. So, where do you guys stand on it? How do you feel about all of this stuff? I am super curious. I was going to put this video on my other channel, actually, too. But, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to talk about this stuff. I may re-edit that other video I put over there and put it over here, too. But, let's just put everything here. I'm going to be playing this stuff. I'm going to be talking about it. I think I may as well talk to you guys about it as well. But let me know what you think about all this. I think it's wild that it's 80. But also, if I can get it in the bundle, that's how I'm getting it. That's where I'm at with it. And Donkey Kong makes sense to me. Like, I thought 70 was kind of going to be the new norm. So, that's where I'm at with it. Let me know what you think down below. I think everybody whatever you're feeling, I think that's valid, man. I do. If you're mad about it, that makes sense. If you're kind of like, man, that's a lot more, but that sucks. You know, I don't think it's going to be 80 for everything, but I do think some mainline titles, some big stuff, may have this tag too. So, let me know what you think. I think it's interesting. It's wild. And yeah, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. As always, be safe on those adventures. Bon voyage. I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.